And welcome everyone to We Are Dorkfish's Exiles campaign, sort of. Today we're just going to we're going to be welcoming in a new character, and when they're done with their business and they're ready to show up, we'll start doing character building for them. But in the interim, we decided that due to it being so close to the holidays, that we are all a little burnt and a little extra toasty. You may notice that Carlos isn't here, but he's had some personal events go on to his life. If you can, go down to his uh, Twitch stream and send him some love, or go to him at his Twitter and wish him nothing but the best. I would discuss it further, but it's not my place to do so. In the meanwhile, we do have Mona, aka Famora. And we have Chris, aka Morbidmartyr, and Kent, aka Kent. And I, your GreatRedDm, am here to at least try to guide the following shit show that's about to happen. Anyway, so welcome to not another D&D podcast, apparently. So, what did you guys want to discuss today?
Just one of those things. Almost kind of feels like it was gonna be like a hangout kind of thing today. Today, if I'm gonna be completely honest, I was not expecting you to stream, but I guess here we are. Here we are.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay, do you know what? Like, at least like towards the end of this could be like a good like how to handle a session 0 with all your players kind of thing.
Oh no, yeah,
and
definitely.
And then just in general, have everyone sort of. Oh, no, I'm sorry, your face when you dropped that. Just in general.
Clip it. Clip it.
Oh, it's YouTube. It can't be clipped. Oh no. But it just is a good way for us to just like sit back and just talk about D&D. Like it's a we're coming on the holidays. We just passed Thanksgiving. It's been one hell of a year. Might as well just sit back and talk about the game we love and what we want to get out of it, you know?
And apologies for the mess in my neck of the woods. But I guess this would be a good opportunity to, well, at least for me anyway, to look into like a possible second class for my character to eventually move into.
Doing a multi-class scenario, or
I have a feeling that as we go down this story, I have a feeling that my paladin skills are not going to be enough to handle some of the shit that we're going to deal with. So I'm thinking about classing at the moment. Which class is entirely up in the air right now. I'm not exactly sure, especially since I want it to be kind of a class that kind of coincides with my character as well.
Well, I mean, we can always do that. That is always your purview, and then as long as it follows within the rules, then yeah, it's all kosher to me. But it just depends on what class you want to go to.
Yeah. Just interesting because I forget, what books can we not use in this campaign?
In this campaign, now all the books are open. The only thing is ignore all items and such. There are still a few races that are locked off, like Akaroka, the Azamar.
Yeah.
As they don't, and Dragonborn, as they don't exist yet. But much like Game of Thrones, the dragons are coming. The dragons are coming.
Why do you gotta say that? Why?
I love South Park more than I care to admit.
Okay.
And that's one of my favorite quotes from there.
Well, in the meantime, while I'm doing that, Ken, you got anything to add or anything like that?
I'm doing a bit of quick digging to see what I have in mind. I'm thinking about what you can possibly do. There's the first four that come to mind are fighters, rogues, warlocks, and sorcerers. Warlocks and sorcerers both being charisma spellcasters that can synergize with your paladin, as well as flavorfully, depending on what you want to do. If you want to sign a pact with something to represent your character's path diverting, or being a sorcerer using that innate origin, because now you have that feral tiefling blood inside of you, and so that can be a source for your arcane soul or whatever, or that sorcerers get access to. So you can have things like the divine soul, and say it's a part of like Asmodeus because you're a tiefling, or you could do something like Shadow, or I guess even Apparent Mind, maybe.
In the rogue class?
No, sorcerer.
Or sorcerer.
If you're gonna do rogue, then I'm thinking maybe either mastermind or phantom, maybe even a soul knife.
I was definitely thinking phantom is more appropriate for the direction, at least from like the one-on-ones that me and Chris have had about what direction the character is going down. I mean, strictly speaking, you could also go down. Nah, do you know what? I think phantom or sorcerer or warlock would be a good mix into there.
So if you do the warlock, you can always go for hexblade, and instead of being towards like I guess just the whole Shadowfell stuff, what it could be is kind of that I guess maybe your pact has something to do with the Abyss, or has something to do with Asmodeus, or one of the other greater gods that are in the plane, or maybe just some kind of weird primordial ancient consciousness. But the idea is that if you go Hexblade, you can still be a frontliner and work with your paladin skills, as opposed to being a bit of a mid-range caster. And a lot of it has to do with like killing something and turning its soul into your thrall, or using your curse on it, because Hexblade's curse.
Yeah, like I was thinking going either the rogue or the warlock route if I'm gonna multi-class. I am definitely feeling more of the warlock than I was the rogue, because I feel like I get more out of the warlock class than I would the rogue.
That phantom deal lets you control ghosts, and that's hilarious.
Oh, but that is true though. Yeah, the phantom rogue is the new one that just came out, isn't it?
That it is.
There's phantom and soul knife. Soul knife is a bit more of the psionic though.
Yeah.
Which book is the phantom in?
Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
The one that I don't have.
But as a soft plug, that definitely not sponsored.
No.
If you go the mastermind route, you can represent, like, I guess your development as a leader figure. Because the thing about mastermind, it's all about creating opportunities and using your influence to kind of direct the flow of battle, as well as like the flow outside of battle. So you get things like Master of Tactics, which says you can use the help action as a bonus action at a range of 30 feet. You also get things like, let's see, actually this one is the phantom one. Where's the other one?
What was this for again?
This is the Mastermind of Rogue. You can get Insightful Manipulator, which is at level 9. I guess you can, well, that's probably the if you're gonna do subclasses. But at level 3, Phantom Rogue gets Whispers of the Dead, as well as Wails from the Grave, and those both say.
No, yeah, basically the phantom archetype with the with the rogue is basically I gain the souls of my enemies whoever I kill, and I pick up like abilities from them as I go on. Essentially, the more souls I take, the stronger I become. Eventually, I'll be able to like phase through like fucking walls and shit like that, and I gain like a little like a little piece or a little piece of jewelry or whatever, where all the souls of my enemies are stored and everything else like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, it does fit something off to your goth little heart.
Okay.
I'm just gonna steal the souls of my enemies.
Hey man, now you're just ripping off that fucking TikTok that I sent you the other day.
Dude, okay, this is my opinion on TikTok, right? Okay, so Vine 2.0, aka TikTok. Every time I absorb any content from TikTok, it is immediately flushed out. No matter how informative or funny it is immediately gone, and I forget what it is. And I wish I could retain that information, but I cannot recall any TikTok that is sent to me.
True.
He subconsciously picks up the information and then uses it later, and he doesn't even realize.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I block out the source and then just pick up the information. Like, I feel bad about that because, don't get me wrong. Nothing against TikTokers and nothing against Viners from back in the day. I mean, thank God Thomas Sanders has a place to go back to now. But like, I just can't. I can't hold on to it. It's just too quick.
Yeah, you are getting up there in years, John. It's okay.
Oh, thank you.
Sad part is you're not even that old, dude.
Yeah, having degenerative.
Actually, you're not old at all. What the fuck am I talking about?
Having degenerative brain conditions are fucking outstanding, man. But I have beef jerky.
Yeah.
Beef jerky for love. No.
And
One of my brothers.
Yes.
One of my brothers from
when the child doesn't allow you to cuddle, the beef jerky is always there for you.
Mm-hmm. One of my brothers from back in the army days sent me his homemade jerky, and I'm just super like, this is mine. Don't touch. Don't look at me when I'm eating this.
Don't look at me. Don't look at my shame.
I will devour this in full lip smacking format because, yes, this is good. Anyway, Mona.
Yeah.
What are you researching there ever so delicately?
The Young Adventures Collection D&D 4-book box set.
Oh, the lore books. Yeah, no.
I think so.
I saw those and I went, oh, that was so helpful. I wish I had that when I was first DMing.
I want it because it's only like $20. And I'm like, ooh,
oh yeah. So there's also the Undying Warlock Pact. I forgot about this. So if you want to do that, you can do the Undying.
I've already promised Mona that I would stop killing her characters.
Yeah.
Or at least trying to.
I tried so hard when your first character died. I was so sad. I was just like, what do I do?
So backstory here now. You gotta give him the backstory.
That's exactly what I was going to. So back when we were doing the Waterdeep campaign, Mona had a elderly sorcerer named what was Lottie, right?
Yeah.
And she was caught in one of the alleyways, and basically kind of got swarmed by by one of the big bads, underbosses, and she kind of died. And I'm like, okay, well, that sucks because this is a hilarious character, who, by the way, when she first told us this character, she's like, oh, she's an old lady who does this, that, the other. Now, when I heard this, I'm thinking old lady. I'm thinking like, she's in her 70s, 80s. She's at the end of her ropes now becoming adventure. And then one day Mona just pops up. Is like, yeah, I know this is, you guys have been memeing this and I want it to stay this way, but she's supposed to be like 50, 60, and I'm portraying her with full Alzheimer's. And I'm just like, well, that is not the mental image I had of this character.
It's the hoarding tendencies for me, and just being a hermit for 40 years for me.
And then the character after that.
Background was Hermit.
Yeah, it was hermit.
That makes it even better now that I know your character.
That's why, like
What the fuck was that?
Roommates, they're so fun. Hold on, I'm going to go do some aggressive negotiations real quick.
Did you hear that?
He was not happy. Oh, that's funny. You better go in and be like, "Hey, yo, bitch!
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up!"
I'm
Keep
so happy.
bouncing my legs and it's moving my camera.
I no longer have to be on push to talk since I moved out and my computer is no longer in my brother's room where he yells for fun a lot.
Nice.
So if you heard any strain in my voice over the last several sessions, it's because he was yelling when I asked him not to.
Aw.
So I was just like, okay. But everything's fine now.
Because you're no longer there. Yay.
DM screen wilderness kit. I should probably not be on Amazon right now looking at this stuff.
The dangers of window shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, especially with everything that's going to probably be going on sale because of the holidays and stuff like that. So
I forgot about Christmas. I forgot how close Christmas is.
It really is. Like I'm still going with the meme of it's still March 257th or whatever.
Yeah.
Although directly I had no impact on my life whatsoever, except I go to restaurants even less now.
Yeah.
Went from like, once a month I'll go out, to like, one of my local restaurants, and then I'm just like, well, now I'm not doing that, so guess I'm just gonna curl up in bed and roll into a corner next to my cold wall and be like,
Nice.
Anyways, let's see. Anyway, back to the Legend of Lottie. After she died, the next character she did was it was a essentially Hannah Montana spoof, and she didn't necessarily died off. She just kind of got transformed into this world. And so Mona had to do like 3 characters within like a month period. And so I told her like, yeah, you have immunity for a while. I'm not going to kill your character or do something that makes your character have a significant personality shift for a long minute.
To be fair, she almost killed off her own character when she nat 1'd us to the bottom of a boss's dungeon.
No, I nat 20'd us to the bottom of the dungeon.
Okay. So that one, it was a nat 1 on like, bring like trying to sneak into the place or something like that. And then to correct that nat 1, she rolled again and then got a natural 20. So I was like, okay, how do I resolve these two things that have happened here? Okay, you'll get exactly what you want, but you're going, instead of going down into the dungeon and working your way down, you're going bottom up. And that's how you get a beholder chase.
You also had us. You gave us one last chance, and we had to contest her persuasion roll as one of the charisma characters out of like the 3 charisma characters.
I mean, it set the DC at a high bar. It was not my fault.
Don't forget about Tony. Without me, Tony wouldn't happen.
Speaking of Tony, we were just discussing this.
Yeah, so for context on who Tony is, in this world that we're in now, he's essentially now my pet gorilla, I want to say. Thanks to, I believe, Mona over here, because that was a session that I wasn't a part of, and she was taking control of my character and somehow got me a fucking gorilla. I'm just like, what?
So, at first it was a Balgura. And Mona was like, okay, I'm in charge of Chris's character. I'm gonna do Mona things and go like, hey, come with this gorilla, buddy. And she did, and it worked. And then it got cleansed of its demonic powers and just became a regular gorilla. And so basically every session since then, I've kind of forgotten about Tony because I don't know what to do with him. And there's so many other little plot threads going on that I'm just like, I keep forgetting about these little characters, and that's on me, and I need to like get down into the nitty gritty of like, you know, the little subtleties of the campaign. But for now, it's just been a continuing meme of, hey, what's Tony doing at the end of every session, or just about everyone. And I'm like, fuck, we need to do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do you? So do you want, like, since we were discussing Tasha's content, what have you guys thought about it?
About what? I like all of Tasha's, or
yeah.
I mean, it's great. It's just got a little bit of everything that I would want personally.
No, yeah, like honestly, in spite of, you know, the whole situation where I'm about to go up against Baphomet, whatever, you know, but the little surprises here and there that keep popping up are actually a really nice touch to it. I really enjoy the little pop-up, like, by the way, this is a thing, you know? It's like when our first session, when we found out fucking dinosaurs were in our fucking world, that was like, oh, okay.
I say that's copyright.
Oh, shit, that's right. Oops.
Well, technically, since he's doing it for parody, it is not.
Ooh.
I mean,
Gotcha.
the bots will know.
Yeah, but, you know, honestly, it's still less than a minute worth of content, so it still shouldn't pop up yet. And we don't got nowhere near the viewers to actually be like, yeah.
You're right.
But anyway.
What happened last session?
So
Winter came and winter fucked. That's what happened.
You kind of missed a lot there. So
Kent,
hold on,
do you want to
write this
go
down? Winter came.
So, Kent, do you want to go over your side of the story first, and then I'll go over mine?
Yeah, I had a lovely nature walk.
I'm going to take that quote Winter came, winter fucked, and I'm going to put it right here on my wall for everyone to see every session.
Good thing I didn't flag us as a kids channel. Yay.
Yeah, so we were like, what do? We need tools to make stuff for the Khan's arrival. So I was like, okay, I'll go get metal with one of the rangers to give them training as well, and because I need a hand. Mm-hmm. And John was like, I expected the entire party to go on this adventure, not just one person. So there was no encounters. So I just had a lovely nature walk with one of the rangers and found some rocks that looked cool and suspicious and left. And then we got some real rocks that mattered, called iron, and we left.
Nice.
And we have yet to do any. I have yet to come back because I was like, hey, let's try to help level this ranger up a little bit, give them some more training on the way back. Ooh. And while that was all happening,
transition. Meanwhile,
Debbie and decided to nuke a fucking cave of cosmic's winter wolves.
Yes. So here's the thing. So there's been a lot of shit going on in our village. So Debbie Dewdrop decided to let off some steam off the edge of a cliff by firing a fucking fireball.
Mm-hmm.
But she rolled in.
Like the TikTok, I don't care how big the room is, I cast fireball.
Essentially, yes. But in casting of this fireball, she rolled a natural 1.
So my favorite thing about
Okay, this is what happened. She goes out trying to convince, trying to find out information kind of deal. Rolls a natural 1 on that. So of course, turns up absolutely nothing. So I'm going like, okay, with the natural 1, gotta be frustrated, gotta be upset about that. It's Debbie, the biggest drama queen in the group.
Yes.
So I'm like, I asked, what is your flashiest spell? And of course, Carlos goes, I have fireball. And I go, well, okay. So, go into a cliffside somewhere just a little bit outside of town, cast fireball. And then roll on wild magic spell, wild magic table, because he's a wild mage. Well, she's a wild mage. And so he turned into a dodo after casting fireball. And then awakening in the beginning parts of spring, a small pack of winter wolves. They can talk. They are essentially the reason why winter starts or gets harsher or lighter.
Mm-hmm. Let me put that correctly. Carlos literally woke up fucking winter.
My favorite part about this is during all of that, Chris, you were flying around the city, the settlement, and it seemed like everyone forgot for a moment, but I kept thinking about this the whole time, because there's a big ass fireball in the distance, and you're just flying around, and there's a fucking explosion off by the mountains. And I just imagine he's standing up. He's like, "What the fuck are they doing over there?"
Continue, John.
Somehow you only found him when he was a dodo.
Yeah, do you know what? You're right, but I think it's funnier. So the wolves basically sniff him out, sniff Carlos out in his dodo form, catch his scent and go, okay, who did this? Because they're just like, this is a dodo. He obviously couldn't have cast fireball against us.
Yeah.
So Carlos deceived his way he went that away. And, well, so they went off wandering the other way. They go and Carlos tries running back into town, but of course he's still a dodo for an hour because polymorph.
Mm-hmm.
So the children tried to hunt him down for a better part of that hour because Din Din is what I justified it as. So he's running around, basically full chicken mode, trying to escape the children. Eventually runs into Nosfair, flies into his arms, and then turns back into a human. Then reveals that I made a boo boo.
Oh no!
So they go and talk to the Sphinx to go try and they talk to DeVito to go try get find out more information on what they've just done, / maybe try to get some help trying to track it down. DeVito goes like, yeah, well, you pissed off Winter. So I can help you expedite this whole issue real quick. But I need Debbie to become my first acolyte kind of deal.
Okay.
And Carlos did not appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's not quotations. It was acolyte. You guys are too sus of me, guys. Come on now.
Can you blame us? Especially for the next part that's coming up.
What did DeVito say his cool new club's gonna be called?
His cool new club?
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't named the temple yet, as it's not fully built yet. Like, you basically have the hole dug, and which when they found him, he was basically mud running, and then full on dramatic 70s 80s Prince Valiant hair toss.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were like, okay, and so Carlos refused, and so he went back to mud running as those guys, as Chris and as Nosfair and Debbie went flying off to go find the Winter Wolves, who started waking up the other members of their pack because hey, when someone launches a nuke at your home, you get a little mad.
Yeah.
So they're surrounded by 5 wolves, and it's just the 2 of them because Kent is lost in the wilderness and you were not there, so I didn't want you to have your character go into unnecessary risk and damage. So basically the Winter Wolves said, oh, you lied to us and you blew up our home. Okay. They did some persuasion deals and basically said, okay, we'll make a deal. Get us the horns of Baphomet and then we'll call everything square.
And who is that?
Look it up. That's all I'm going to say. Look it up.
How do you spell this?
Baphomet.
Let's just say he's kind of big and scary and violent.
Is it deity?
So you remember how we fought a demon once, and it was mildly scary, mildly easy? Yeah, it's that, except for neither of those things. It's fucking terrifying, and we're going to die.
I only know this pose based off of Poppy, the internet pop star, because in her first music video she does this exact pose. So now I only imagine Poppy. So we're going to kill Poppy.
Or more than likely, Poppy's gonna kill us. Or by us, it sounds like me, because I made the pact to save Debbie Dewdrop. I made the pact with these wolves to fucking bring them Baphomet's horns.
Did you agree to this before
you
searched it up? Before you searched it up?
No, I knew who. I knew
the character wouldn't know. I mean,
no, the character wouldn't know, and because of the fact that I know who Baphomet is, player wise, I know who Baphomet is, but character wise, my character doesn't. And my character is very I will do anything for my people to make sure they're safe, especially since Debbie Dewdrop is a member of our team. I took the pact to bring them the fucking horns.
To be perfectly fair, all you guys really know is that he's kind of in charge of the Horde of Horns. Of the Horde of
What?
Horns. He's in charge of the Horde of Horns. And he's the principal rival of the Khan. So
Hear me out. We just go up to him and be like, yo, see these packs of wolves? They want you dead. You should go, you should go, you should do a reverse Uno card on them. And be like, yo, just so you know, people got someone out for you.
Oh, but then that undermines my whole plot to try to tame one of these wolves to piss Iris.
So Iris is a character from our original table, which used to be much bigger, but due to certain circumstances, I had to split the table up. Some being going online, some still having an IRL deal, and so that's why when we talk about what the other table's doing, there is Iris, Rin, 2 new characters over there where we haven't really discussed all that much. There's Wally also from the original table, and Rin is a tabaxi who is a teenager and played by a teenager, and if you want to have the definition of spaz barbarian, that's Rin, and it is just hilarious how much of the hijinks she gets into. And then, let's see. Then we have Iris, who is our resident pet collector. I'm sorry, she's just trying to build a sanctuary for the animals.
Is that what she wrote
That is
right now?
Not right now, but she's told me this several times before, and every one of the other table is just like, nah, that's a zoo, honey. Like, what's
trying to be Carol Baskin, but she turns out to be the Tiger King.
Like she's trying to do no. She's trying to do like, oh, Disney's Animal Kingdom, but I'm like, I'm just
off topic. But my friend met Carol Baskin. She was just riding her bike. It was weird.
Fun facts by Mona. Anyway, so that table is largely a lot of a new players, so they get a bunch of fun things to start off with because the nature of this campaign is difficult. And you're muted, Mona.
No.
Yeah, they get fun things, and we get a meat thief and Baphomet.
I said, and we get to suffer.
They get to suffer too. Trust me.
Different ways.
But to be fair, we are the table that has the experienced players in this group. Like Kent, me, and Mona over here are DMs as well. So
I got caught into a conversation of someone was like, I want to learn how to play D&D. And then 4 other people said, I want to know how to play D&D, but I don't know anyone who DMs. And I made the mistake of going, I DM.
Remember the days when we were players and like, man, I wish I could find someone to DM for us. And then we never did. And then we became DMs. And then
and now all of a sudden everyone wants us to DM for their fucking games. Like Jesus Christ.
Though I actually DM for like a bunch of 3rd graders, and it's pretty wild since like they're all pretty new to D&D still.
They're pretty new to math at that age, so
they're pretty new to life, actually.
Really, you don't say.
Nah. 3's plenty, man. They can go to work at 3. I'm not a monster. You are.
No, but I actually had like a really wholesome session last last time. They
Oh,
I
really?
was telling
Nice.
them how because next week and the week after is gonna be all holidays, so I was like, yeah, we can't do sessions unfortunately, and they were just like, are you sure? We just want to play D&D. And I was like, go ask your parents and we'll have a maybe. And then you run over off screen and come back and they're like, yeah, probably not. I was like, yeah, I thought so. But then they're just telling me like, yeah, we love having D&D with you that much. We just want to play. And I was like, oh, you kids. Thank you. It was really cute.
Here I am being like the most sadistic DM going, oh my god, Baphomet, no. Meanwhile, Chris is Kent's getting fucking, oh, we love to play D&D with you, buddy, yay. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, fuck you, John, fuck you.
Okay, to be fair, I got back at them a little bit. They were doing Ghost of Soulmarsh, and when they got to the part where they had to fight Thousand Teeth, which is a giant crocodile that has legendary resistance for no reason.
Spoilers, but yes.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I made him like 4 times the size he's supposed to be, just to scare them. And they try to hide in trees, and so I had it rip out the trees. And they're just like, oh no.
Fight him.
But they were caught up for a while trying to see whether or not they can tame him. And then eventually they gave up on that when they realized that they probably shouldn't even try.
Yeah. No, I have this. I've had this experience with the Iris character, as she once tried to preserve the essence of a male Tyrannosaurus. for breeding purposes.
The essence of Tyrannosaurus.
A male Tyrannosaurus.
For breeding purposes, Kent.
Like,
I completely forgot about that. Holy shit.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there going, this thing has an intelligence of 2. Not negative. Total of 2. And I'm
I'm sorry. The essence of Tyrannosaurus.
Ken just has the most dumbfounded look you could ever fucking see.
I don't even want to know what the plan was.
And by the way, guys, they are just about the same
Were you going to polymorph to a Tyrannosaurus and like...
and by the way, it was already dead. This is
already dead.
No, this is what makes it better. It was already dead, and the final blow was from a minotaur jamming his horns into his.
You don't say the final blow after that.
Into his
nether regions, removing certain parts of him, certain essence producing parts.
She hit him in the dick, mates. She hit him in the goddamn dick.
Oh no, the horns may have removed the testicles. Okay, and here's why this happened, right? And it's not like they purposefully went for, kicking him in the balls. The Minotaur was under him, and the Bard flies over him, and does a thunder wave. The Tyrannosaurus failed his save, so he gets pushed, right? So 10 feet down onto horns. Yeah.
What are you doing, Step Bard?
In the arms of
and still the question came out of, can I milk this Tyrannosaurus? and I'm just like and as I was saying earlier, they're at the same tech level you guys are, really. Like they have a little bit more equipment, but like they don't like they're just acquiring all the stuff you guys are.
But obviously, their priorities are in a different spot than ours.
And do you know what? It wasn't even the extraction process that bothered me. It was like, how are you going to store this?
You right.
Yeah.
I forgot about storing it.
I just hope it wasn't a water skin and then somebody forgot which water skin.
Do you know what? Oh.
I love that.
Don't get me wrong. Does
this milk smell funny?
No. I know.
I'm
okay,
dead.
Do you know
I'm
what?
done.
Do you know what? This leads us to an interesting topic. This is an interesting topic.
Uh,
What is the weirdest thing your players have had you forced you to narrate?
I can think of a PG one, and well, I don't know. I can think of at least one that I think is pretty good, and the other one is less about being weird as it is just like, why did I get to this? How did this happen? Kind of moment. It happened to be when one of them decided to plant 6 beans from the magic bag of beans at the same time. And I had to interrupt their long rest with 3 bullets attacking them at once with surprise combat rounds, and it bodied the paladin 6 times with slam attacks, and he still lived. And everyone was just like, why? Why would you do this to us?
Why did you plant the beans?
The worst part was, after they killed them, they were like, let's mechanize one of their corpses into a cyborg. And I'm like, okay, you can try. They did it. They got all the resources, they put it together, and then they're just like, what if we turn it into a mech that we can pilot inside? Okay. Right inside the cyborg bullet. Okay. Let's upgrade it. Let's turn it into a submarine bullet, so now we can go underground in that stuff and underwater in that stuff. Okay, sure. Now you have it. Can I, since it's a corpse and it's undead, can I use Dance Macabre to summon it? Which it had to do with a prior arrangement where I allow them to change the 5 CR like 1 things to like 1 CR 5 things or whatever. And so I was just like, all right, let's check. I see the CR for a bullet. It's like 5. Oh no. Yeah, you can summon it. Now they have a pocket mecha bullet submarine. And I'm just like, yes, you are allowed to have that.
This is why I was like, this is a techless campaign. I need you to not use the
Oh man.
What do you
I love that. I love that story because that includes your players reading and knowing what they're doing.
They didn't read shit. No, I had that same group. They encountered shambling mounds, and I have one character who's a storm sorcerer and one character who's a lightning dragonborn, and I was intentionally doing this to fuck with them because they don't know what shambling mounds are. They immediately zap it with lightning twice in a row, and they're still like, how did this happen? What? And then the paladin is the one that absolutely big brains this. When one of them tries to grapple him, he's like, they're gonna grapple me. What if I grapple them? And so the fucking shambling mound that's trying to absorb him like a slime, right? It's trying to pull him in so it can suffocate him. He grabs it even more, and he's like, what happens? Like, what do you mean what happens? It grabs you even more. You're inside of it now. You let this happen. And then he doesn't even pay attention at the end of the combat when everyone finally killed everything, because he's been restrained and not able to do anything for a few rounds because he kept failing his escape. And he's like, as soon as he gets out, he's like, all right, cool, I start attacking the shambling mound. I'm like, what do you mean you're attacking it? It's dead. It's like, oh, okay, let me go after the other one. They're all dead. It's like, what? Really? It's like, yeah. What are you doing? Have you just been checking out your phone or something, or playing League? And he's like, yeah. It's like, God.
All right, what about you, Chris? What have you got?
The weirdest thing still so far is having to describe a sex scene between a dwarf and a goblin servant. That's basically all I need to say. I literally had this player roll for his charisma because of the fact that not only was he trying to fuck this goblin, he also was drunk and
high. Don't forget high.
Oh, and high. Yes. And I had to also.
I think we unlocked a core memory for John.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
And I even had to go so far as to roll for the specific sex position that they were doing shit in because of the fact that the player who was involved in this was like, you know what, might as well just fucking go all the way with it. So I literally described an entire sex scene for a goblin and a dwarf and the hangover the next morning. So that's basically...
Don't forget also when the 16-year-old character walked in on them.
Yes, and a 16-year-old character walked in on them while they were doing the deed. I forgot about that part.
I totally forgot that campaign. I don't remember what... I remember what I named those goblins. Because they were my goblin servants that I had absorbed.
Yes.
And they were... I knew they were... I remember they were named Knuckles and Flapjack. And I don't remember which one was the female of the two.
Flapjack was the female.
That makes sense.
Knuckles was the male.
Yeah. So...
Who may or may not have been in a polyamorous relationship. Who knows?
Who knows? Oh my God. Poor Flapjack. And then in that same campaign, that's the one where Mona learned about what a load-bearing wall was. And that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mona here was part of that campaign. And her and her party had just obtained what was essentially like a hotel to live in. An abandoned hotel, which they bought, paid for, and everything. So they had this hotel, and they were going to do some reconstruction on it to fit their needs. Well, Mona, IRL, not knowing what a load-bearing wall was, decided to find this beam that was right next to the stairs complex and decided, oh, I'm just going to swing at this to knock down this wall. Well, sure enough, she rolled low enough to the point to where she decided to knock down a low-bearing wall, and an entire section of their building collapsed. Which also so happens to be the section where our other player's sex room was.
Yep.
No correlation on the events before. It happened.
That was like a couple of sessions later too. That was great about that.
Yeah, it wasn't too long after the sex scene and that all of this was happening. It was great.
Man. All right, Mona, what you got?
Anything. My characters were my players were too afraid to do anything wrong. I mean, I did have to describe to them when they try to do speak with animals with a dragon. And then they had to realize that dragons are smart.
And most of them can speak common.
They didn't even try. They were just like, we're gonna speak to him with the animal spells.
Just gonna auto start with that insult. Hey, you're an animal.
And they didn't like talk to each other about like what spells they wanted. So they all had to speak with animals. So they all like just had turns. And I just had to go, he doesn't say anything to you. For like 4 tries. And they kept thinking it's because they load too low.
Meanwhile, you're just like, okay, well, each time they do this, I'm just upping that difficulty by 5 because they're just pissing this thing off.
Yeah.
Nah, I think... I don't know, man. The Tyrannosaurus is pretty high up there on the list. It wasn't even something described. It was just something like the question was asked, and I had to go like into mental imagination of like how this would work, or because like I'm not big on the word no to my players, right? Unless it is like I'll go like, okay, well you can do that, but you got to do. You're talking about step E. You need to work on step A first, and then we'll get to there. But I think I think tied for that event would have to be the orgy I had to describe, and it wasn't even a sex campaign. That's what really made me like kind of go like, what am I doing with my life? Because like the entire table were. They were pervs and degenerates. Like, I won't deny this. So they said, hey, oh, here's this evil drow priestess that's trying to take over everything. We're just gonna fuck our way out of this situation. And what made it even more awkward was that, like, one of my distant male cousins was at that table, and I'm just like, I'm not comfortable with this. Can we please move along from this subject? No, man. More details. No. Please. Mercy, my lord.
This is weird, my lord. Kumbaya.
I'm straight up opening up the Bible and the Quran at the same time. Okay, which one of these is going to get me out of this? One of these is going to get me out of hell.
He opens up the "You're dead to me" scrolls.
But yeah, no, I think that's the weirdest one for me. And like honestly, the vast majority of my players have been relatively well behaved. I think the biggest problem I have sometimes is like it's either the people that don't research what they're doing, or like the people that like actually no, this is my personal pet peeve. Like if you're a war gamer and you have full on strategies with your deal and like you're min-maxing to the hardest, whatever, dude. If you're a rules layer, okay, I get where you're coming from, whatever. No. What bothers me the most is sitting there for 10 minutes, having gone a full round in combat, and you're still going, what do I do? Like you put no thought into the next action you're going to do. You're just sitting there blankly at the screen, wasting everyone's time for 10 minutes because you don't know what to do.
There are some cases where you can kind of relate, where it's like you're trying to figure out a way out of a situation to help someone, and then the next person goes in combat before you does something completely different, and like then the person after that does something completely different, and now you're just like, ah, shit, my plans.
Yeah, that's true, but okay, but if you're a fighter, for example, or a barbarian, a melee attacker. And, you know, you have one job, really. Well, technically two. Soak damage, smash, slash. And it just, and you're like, how am I gonna smash?
Right.
I get to that point where I'm like, okay, well, cool.
I mean, there's some situations where it's like, how do I stop this trigger from happening? How do I protect this person without, like, you know, like with the least risk of failure? You know, because you don't want someone to like die or whatever, or someone to steal something.
No, yeah, but I think what John is trying to get at is the ones that are just there just to be there, like the ones that are not really like.
No, I definitely had that. Like players who like are on their phone or something, waiting for their turn, and they don't think about what they're gonna do for their turn until it comes up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Don't get me wrong. There's exceptions in every deal. Hell, when I put the timer on, and everyone goes into panic fish flopping mode of just what do I do? I'm perfectly okay with y'all having panic attacks and just it's like stuttering, trying to figure out what to do. Like that's the point of that. And if it's a complex enemy, like say a beholder, and you're trying to escape that anti-magic field.
Or Baphomet.
Or possibly Baphomet. Who knows? That's a future John issue.
John issue.
But like, at that point, I'm just like, okay. I understand if you're having problems with figuring out the deal, or if you're a very new player, right? I like that. This is totally exempt from new players because you're still figuring out the game. And if you're still figuring out the game, I'm not going to get on you or be like upset that you're like, okay, I honestly don't know what to do. And you're confused by what your character does. That is forgivable. I will sit there for an extra 20 minutes going like, okay, well, you have this option, this option, this option. And, I'll walk you through it and say, hold my pocket. Let's go places. Because I want you to have a good experience. But if you've been playing for like 4 months and you don't know what your character does, I'm kind of like, do you really want to play?
Dude, I've been playing. I have had one campaign that was going on for almost 2 years, and at the point where one of my players who was a paladin was like, okay, hold on a sec. What does this spell do? What is this? What is what is it called? It's the detecting thing, the detect good and evil thing paladins get. He was trying to figure out how that thing works.
The undead radar thing that they get. Or...
Yeah, the radar that's for like fiends and celestials and all that stuff. And I'm just like, oh, do you know what this is? You've had this the entire time. It's like, do you want to use lay on hands? And it's like, how does lay on hands work? It's like, okay.
Okay, but to be fair, to defend paladins, most of them just go, oh yeah, lay on hands. Cool. Smite.
He doesn't even use smite. He uses his spells for completely different things.
Oh god. Well, do you know what? I'll give him credit for that.
He is the tankiest motherfucker in the group, and he is never in the front line soaking damage. He has like a 23 to AC. He has the second most HP, only second to a fucking barbarian. And he has a cloak of invisibility and winged boots. And this guy never takes damage unless I specifically target his ass.
Not about that life. Just 100% not. No, thank you.
There's a reason why at level 10 or 11, I think. No, it was 10 and then 11. At level 10, they encountered an ancient black dragon lich. So, I had fun with that. I made them run away a lot.
Yeah,
they did actually do a good amount of damage though to it eventually.
Well, that's good,
I mean, they're still fighting it. never got to finish that thing with them yet. It's just on hiatus for a bit. But yeah, that, and at some point I threw well over 50 to 60 goblins at them in one encounter, and they still actually killed every single one of them.
God.
Jeez.
I don't even want to imagine your end of logistics on that.
Some of them were even hobgoblin elites.
When it doesn't even matter like what they were. It's when I see numbers above 11 when it comes to encounter size that I'm just like, I don't. My brain doesn't work this much. I can't balance. I can't figure this out. Do you know how many characters I lose when I did the first time I ran an 11 man encounter or 11 opponent deal, and I had like a table of 8. I had no idea. I skipped so many characters because I just forgot who was fighting at once.
Oh, what I did was similar to like the horde fighting stuff that people have homebrewed, where I gave them like pack leaders, and those pack leaders were the ones that tracked initiative, and they always moved in packs. So, and I arranged those packs depending on where they were at the time in the dungeon. And what happened was they alerted the one of the elites right away, and because there were so many of them, and the party was scouting at the time, so they were far apart. The goblins had enough time to start alerting all the patrols. So all the patrols started like moving in packs towards them. So whenever there was a turn, it was like everybody's going, and then eventually there's like a pack, and that pack had like if it was comprised of like 6 hobgoblins, I would just do like 60-20s real quick with their attacks, and then like sum up all the damage. And then it depending on how many people were being attacked, I would just divvy up the damage, or instead of doing like 5 different goblin HP pools, I would just add up all the HP pools together, and then every time they reached like a certain amount, I would just delete 1 or 2.
Right on. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know what? Let's move on to the another topic here. Okay, so what's your favorite NPC you guys have ever created?
Favorite NPC?
Because I'm already thinking of my favorite from one of Kent's campaigns, and that was the Boblins.
Oh my god, I love the Boblins. Which one was your favorite, John?
Just the entire group of just Boblins. And I'm just like, they're all named Bob. This is adorable.
It was like 5 or 6 goblins and an ogre that had the they rode on an ogre that had a little store on his back, and they were all named at some version of Bob. It was like Bob, Boblin, Bobbert, Bobison, or something like that.
Those are pretty solid.
That's a pretty solid NPC. But what's your personal favorite, Kent, that you've made?
Let's see. There's one I like because it's really cool, but it's not like my favorite as like the one I've like had the most memorable moments with. One of the cool one though is it's a mind flayer who is like stuck in this like secret in space, and when his ship stuck there, all he had to do was observe like what was going on in the universe, and he realized that he was able to kind of glance into every single moment in space-time, but instead of abusing it, all he did was start logging everything. So he became this kind of like a scientist. And for some reason, when he was in there, he realized he he didn't need to absorb any intellect to survive, because of MacGuffin reasons. But because of that, he kind of began ignoring his like evil desires because he didn't need to get brains. He wasn't attached to any elder brain because the rift
I'll be right back.
was just outside of everything, and so all he did was research. And so when the party finally found him, he actually helped them. So he was just a cool dude. And then because I didn't have a name for him, I let the party name him, and they named him Beardimus because he has a tentacle beard, and I was sad. They took such a cool character and they named him Beardimus.
You know, sometimes I love players for their ability to name things because sometimes they'll come up with really cool stuff for their own things, but when they have to name something else, you get like, you know, DeVito, Danny, Beardicus.
Okay, DeVito though, I wasn't actually being serious though.
Hey man, I was like, spit out her name, and I'm like, we'll call him DeVito, and I'm like, okay, do you know what? Let's go with it. Because I was like, because in my mind there was already, you know, another Sphinx at the other campaign that would be the mate, and that's, you know, they have their own, you know, Sphinx things that they're doing. And I'm like, do you know what? Full name with them together is Danny DeVito. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I know that everyone on both sides of the table would just be dying laughing because of it. Meanwhile, Mona, what's your favorite NPC that you've ever made?
I have a favorite NPC I interacted with as a player. I feel like my DMing history has just been introducing D&D to new people, and then like the people who like it is only like one out of every group, and they just never play with me again. So I don't have a lot of experiences because a lot of my NPCs are kind of like cookie cutter. This one likes you because you say you like them. This one doesn't like you because of whatever reason. But my favorite NPC is the one from Chris's campaign, where I think your character and I think it was Carlos's character, and you guys were like trying to do a love triangle thing.
Erica.
You like Erica.
Erica.
Yeah.
You liked Erica.
The battle of who can seduce Erica.
The British fencer.
Yeah. Well, okay, look. In that one, I was a noble tabaxi blade singer, and she was a full fencer. And I'm like, hey, we can do this. I'm a charismatic cat. I'm Rum Tum Tugger in this thing. And it just was not happening because Carlos's character, who was another female, just kept trying to be like all up in this girl's business, and I'm just like, but my romance option, I need this.
It was funny because of the fact that I really need to go back and rewrite that campaign because it was such a great start. It was going in such a really good direction.
Hell yeah.
Later on in that whole kerfunkle, I was actually gonna see who could actually win over Erica in that whole situation. I was actually gonna put you all in a situation where to see who could actually win over Erica's heart, like just as like a little mini side thing from
like I'm not gonna lie, I don't really turn on my charm all that often. I'm a very just base level gruff individual who would just be frank and honest with you the whole time. But that doesn't mean I don't know how to be a charmer. And every time Erica was in the deal, like I was like, okay, I'm turning this shit up to 11. I'm
funny because it's funny because every time Erica did come into the ordeal, Carlos's character somehow, some way was always there.
And I remember the scene where you were like fencing with Erica, and you kind of like let her win, to have like a.
Oh no, I'm not gonna lie. I just had enough charisma to where I let her win with quote unquote quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
No, she kicked my ass.
No, yeah, because the way that fight was set up was I actually made a character sheet for Erica. So it was basically a D&D player one-on-one, and I beat John's AC just by 1 point. And that is the only reason why Erica won that fight. If she would have rolled like even or under, she would have lost that match.
And you know what? I was because like I built this Blade Singer specifically for one-on-one, like full on fight me, bro. I'm ready for this. And this was before the new one came out, which is way better. And glad they cleared up the rules on using cantrips as well as extra attacks, because I 100% was like, nah, that's a thing no matter what.
And then at the end, you, Carlos's character, and Erica are just like vibing, chilling. You guys have intense look in your eyes. Who's gonna win this girl? And my character just strolls up and is like, "Hey, Erica, I liked your moves. I see that you're a fighter and I'm a fighter. I think we could learn a thing or two about with each other. You know what I mean?" Like,
I remember that scenario. Your character was just trying to stir up the pot with these two. That was great.
I think for me, I think the best character NPC I ever made was actually Shadra. I put a lot of effort into that one, because like for those that don't know, like before we started streaming these campaigns, Shadra was this lovely, sweet little tiefling girl, like considered the first tiefling, daughter of Asmodeus and his mortal wife. Like she was demigod, ready, like on her way to being just loving everything, right? Like that girl didn't have hate in her heart. She was full on like, I'm playing with everyone. Mm-hmm. And then I killed her. Like I'm not gonna. But
how could you?
Well, here's the thing, right? It is partially based on a real person from my life that actually passed in a not exact, but in a pretty grotesque fashion. And so I was like, okay, I can put that emotion into this character and, sort of resolve this. At the same time, I also took every lovable little girl in every anime I've ever seen that died.
Oh, no wonder I didn't like. I'm kidding.
I full on was like, okay, here's my life tragedy. Here's some clanad sprinkles, and do you know what? K-On! To go on along with it. Let's go.
Episode 5 of Fullmetal Alchemist.
Episode 5.
No. Episode 5 to 7.
Like I mixed all that together in my pot of evil and just said, here's this lovable character. I want you attached to it.
We and then when she was gone, we all just didn't register what happened. We're just like, let's go pick her up.
No, like half the when she died, half the table's like misty-eyed, the other half's in tears. Then I have Mona in the corner next to me, just like blankly staring down, fully just disassociating from the moment, and I'm just like, I've done a good job. Because I was like, yeah. I and it wasn't about getting them to cry. It was just like, well, it was, but I was like, okay, I know I've done a good story. If everyone at the table is just like, no, don't do this. And so afterwards, they also everyone at both tables, everyone started saying I'm super sus because apparently I'm out for evil all the time.
I mean, you are.
Yeah.
No,
Are.
no, I'm not sus at all, man.
You pitted me against fucking ice wolves and a goddamn Baphomet. What the fuck?
Yeah, but he hasn't done that yet. He doesn't have.
I'm going to.
You don't know. You don't know what kind of cool NPC that deity is gonna be.
All I'm saying is that.
I remember this is an opportunity. You can make him as trolly as possible.
Every time there's a major encounter with a huge chance of a fight, I'm not there.
Oh yeah, that's right. So
I made an entire character for like 3 weeks in advance of session 0 of our Waterdeep, and I was gonna be a fucking Warforged so that I could specifically transform into a motorcycle and have a chase scene, because I know that there's a chase scene in Waterdeep, and I missed the chase scene. I was so sad.
yeah, he specifically wanted to be Transformer and go full motorcycle mode. And it like just the look of disappointment as the opportunity was there and he goes left when he should have goes right. And the look of disappointment.
It was like, what do we do? We had to protect the party, and immediately before I get to try to make that split decision, it's like, all right, we should maybe split the party. What's his name at the time? His rogue. His rogue's name was
Rexus.
Yeah, Rexus goes like, all right, I'll climb up and go. I'm like, all right, well, decision made. And I was like, well, that's gonna happen. I don't want to leave a 50-year-old woman by herself in a dark alley with thugs.
And then she died.
And she died anyway.
Uh,
I was so sad.
That was the session where she died, wasn't it?
It was the session she died.
Guys, I'm not sus at all. Okay, chat, come on.
Sus.
I am innocent as the driven snow. Doing I feel okay? This is a sad confession I have to make.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how most of this campaign feels planned?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I like jerky. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know what, because you guys split off. Because like you guys split off so much. Like I have these concepts.
Almost like we have to run a government or something.
It's almost as though you gave us too many quests at the same time.
Hey, you know, most of them are long term.
Long term.
My patience is long term. But my feelings are short term.
Okay, I mean,
but John is always sus.
Like how let's see, you got track down the thieves.
Track down the meat thieves. Keep over 300 people alive and in check. Form a government that works. Create buildings. Prepare for a very political encounter. Defeat Baphomet.
And may or may have to save people from literal winter from fucking killing them if the Baphomet doesn't.
Oh yeah, and
succeed.
what was that one question? What was that one quest you gave us, John? Go face the 4 elementals of the great realm of the Illfather and secure them and put them into some kind of magic device and take them back to get forged into a fucking deity's body or a child who we saw murdered and yeah.
Okay, to be fair, the government's been formed.
Has it though? Has it really been formed, John?
It has been formed. Okay.
Have we not captured the people stealing the food?
No.
That's what we're doing next session.
Literally, the whole thing with fucking winter happened.
It was literally like, all right, go catch a meat thief, and then we're like, all right, John, we have everything set up now. Just tell us when the event happens, and then he's like, cool.
No, yeah, because
by the way, winter wants to eat you.
Yeah, the winter thing
that
happened.
was not
The
my
visit
fault.
to the con happened.
That was not 100% my fault. That is a result of a natural one.
Yeah, it's Debbie's fault.
Okay. Like, don't blame me on that one. Blame the dice.
No, I still blame you on
Yeah,
that.
blame you, bro.
Like, as to the government deal, I told you guys you can have as little or as much interaction as you want. You guys actually gotten things to the point where it's pretty self-sustaining at this point. Like,
Yeah.
No, yeah, like we are in a good spot. Which, oh, Mona, you weren't there for this talk, but just little D&D thing. My character has been trying, and I've already told Kent and Carlos this as well, but we need to be careful with the con that he doesn't overstep his boundaries
Uh-huh.
and think that he's in charge of us, considering that we just came from a fucking like quote unquote dictatorship in our last home realm. So
Was it really a dictatorship if there was no single person that everyone worshipped?
well, not I wouldn't say a dictatorship, but it was a government that played off the fears of the people for their own gain. And I don't want and my character doesn't want the con to think that he's like our ruler essentially. Because even if we're outmanned, and like I told,
I could hear John laughing.
what? No, I'm sorry. I'm coughing.
and you don't want us to suspect shit, John. You go kiss my fucking ass, bro. Jeez.
No. I'm sorry. I just have the hiccups, you know.
Yeah, you're so full of shit. It's oozing out of your own asshole right now. You motherfucker.
Oh my god.
This is why I mute myself so often, because oftentimes when you say things, I just can't help but laugh. I'm like, oh no. Oh no, it's going to be hilarious. I don't know how this is going to go. But no, nah, like, it's, I do feel you on the chat. DM laughing, never a good thing.
That's why I laugh in all my sessions.
I try, but like, like
you can't even justify.
I'm trying to explain the quest deal, right? Because like I consider like for most of those, I do consider them like wrapped up into one big deal, you know, and most of those issues are solved. Like that quest calendar has been like largely cleared. It just, you know, how you just build it up on your own now, you know. Pretty much it's due to like the way you guys have set things up. It's just one of those new resource. Okay, it's applied to everybody. Build it and they will come. Due to almost the religious following that Kent's crafting committee has.
Oh, it's religious.
Did you not remember like your natural 20 on
Well, I remember that part. You just told me it was like, thank you for coming to my TED Talks moment.
Oh no, I told you that, but like it was like pretty much like,
you know what? Actually, I think that one's on me because I do know that we have an actual like crafting deity.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's not too far off.
Yeah, and you pretty much it's almost as if you are walking Incarnate at this point, because if you remember when you touched Oda to give her like reassurance kind of deal, like, nah, fam, like those that craft are kind of like in all of you because you have so much advanced knowledge.
Okay.
I mean, because one of the things from Waterdeep campaign, because he did not have that bike in Waterdeep, he built it. Like we took from Avernus, and like he put the time and effort into building it. So like when we crossed over into this campaign, I was like, no, like you have this. This is yours. I'm not gonna just, you know, erase 5 levels worth of crafting that you did to make this happen.
Yeah, I spent like like every single downtime action I could afford to do it on, except for like maybe 2 or 3 at a necessity, or because I wanted to also get alchemy supplies.
But so I was like, okay, I am not taking this away from you. It just now that you're no longer a Warforged, you have a bike and the self. So you very much have this super advanced technology. And it just like, I'm not taking that away from you. So if you apply that to how these people see you, dog, you got a full on like.
Can you put the serving size down?
You got a serving size down. That's for dang sure.
Who picked it up? You're laughing at you.
Fine.
The one because all they heard was serving size down.
Oh, just
Okay.
perfect.
Sorry, he's trying to figure out how to make gyoza sauce.
Grab soy sauce.
Yeah. He wanted the exact.
Gotta go exact. So, anyways. Okay. Yeah, no, and so like they're very much like as I was saying, they're in awe of you, man. Like you have a full on like
Well, we don't have rice anymore.
second coming of the crafter god kind of thing going on for you. So like by all means, like that's what you got going on. I was trying to convey that, but I also think just because like there's been too many things of like each individual player trying to do their own part at the same time, I can't really like put too much effort into what each individual player is doing, you know?
No, like you're fine. I think like that was just me being a little dense.
Well, so is Mac when it comes McDonald's when it comes to social events. So
Oh yeah, my charisma is actually at 0. So
as a minor update,
that's my characters.
we probably won't be able to get into the session 0 for our new player. That'll happen off screen as they have had other business take place. So rip to that, but nevertheless, we'll just continue the discussion and just have fun talking about D&D. I think I think that's one of the things I would like to see more, just so that way, like, because like I want to get I want to get super in depth into everything, but a lot of times you guys are like, oh, free time, scatter, and then you all get into your own mischief, and I'm just like,
well, I mean,
I don't know how to fix this.
Here's my opinion on that claim, because like as a DM, the thing I see about that is, that's kind of when everyone wants to explore their character options, and the sense of time where you're framing all the events isn't so much as like a flag trigger as it is like actually a streamlined sense of time. So all of us want to utilize it as much as we possibly can. We're milking the shit out of every encounter we can because we want to explore our characters and use that agency. So when we have that downtime action, I don't think it's wrong of you to slow down. In fact, I think what you're doing is you're getting so worried about that pacing that you're thinking, okay, I have to cut this out. I have to cut out the small details of the middleman and get to this. When what we really want is that middleman. It's that fat.
Yeah.
Because we want to have that sense of agency, and we're okay with taking those turns.
Yeah, I am in agreement with Kent. Now that I'm actually like kind of like now sitting down and actually thinking about it, yeah, the events have been kind of flying by us at rapid fire, and I think you do need to slow it down just a little bit.
Right. And that's part of what I mean by like we have a bunch of little quests. We have so many different things that we're being introduced to that we're taking notes of and we're logging, and we want to make sure they all go the way that we want to go, at least in the way that we can control them and prioritize them. So we're stopping to do every little thing we can along the way because we don't want to miss anything. We don't want to jump into something without without being prepared for it, or without having the things that we want before then anyway.
Okay.
So like small NPC interactions, like talking to Oda, for example, or how we're kind of bickering over like who's going to kind of mentor Oda, or that stuff. Like we value that as players, because that's when we kind of get into the more
because
we're
you
interacting
even
with you, John.
Yeah, because you even said it yourself, John, that this table is actually more based on the acting aspect than it is like the combat stuff, and that's where this us as players thrive compared to the other tables. So
I feel you. Go ahead, Mona.
Like in example.
Hold on, Ken.
Sorry.
Hold on.
I do feel like if you want to fill out more of the spaces in between, you could always make a very competent NPC that's like just ready to just be like, I can help you when you're not wanting to do this. Because I used to have the opposite problem where I had players who would only do things together when there was so much space to spread, and I just kind of like introduced different NPCs that would do different things and ask them to go separately. So you could always just add an NPC that's not sad that he doesn't have everything around him, and it's just like, I used to do this all the time, just walk around in the forest by myself. I'll help you out. You could always add more NPCs that aren't like scared, because I feel like a lot of my thing is it's like I feel like I have to take care of this group of people, and I go, okay, we're gonna walk 5 steps.
Well, to be fair, it's like it's still within the first, I believe, like 2 months now of the campaign, like actually in game timeline.
No, it's still even the first month.
Oh, you're right. So
we're in like the first month.
This is like the 3rd week since the settlement was founded.
And then there was an additional 2 weeks of travel. You guys had. So it's a bit. You're in the 2nd month of from Exile to here. And so there are people stepping up. There, like, you guys have progressed as much as you have because of they're starting to get backbones about things. They're learning how to survive. And for the most part, it's gotten to the point where they're not the best at it, but they've gone from the baby stage to pretty much the teenager, where they're not the most competent yet how to do those things that they're doing, but they at least have the concept down of what they should be doing.
Right. I mean, we see that in druids and rangers. Council.
As to the time of it, like like giving you a bunch of stuff, it's like I agree with that, and I'm gonna
well, the thing.
This is the factor that I'm trying to like get you guys to go down, or at least I'm here's where like I'm having this differential. It's because like in an IRL table, right? Or at least from the home game, we had the full cornucopia of players. Some people were more into role play. Some people were more into just do this kind of thing, and each one of them was like a different pacing. And going into a pure role play deal is a bit it's a leap for me, because it's one of those like it's
out of your comfort zone, essentially.
It's not like it's out of the comfort zone. It's out of the realm of experience to have a pure role play table, and it's one of those like that's where I get to learn. I love these conversations where I'm going like, okay, this is where I need to fix things, because I am person, even though like I tend to pretend I have all the answers. I honestly don't. I just I'm just trying to make it all work. So I'll slow down on the quest a bit and go give more time for interaction. Um, and another deal I think I'm but the hardest problem with like trying to do that is that almost every day at least one person breaks away to do their own exploratory deal, you know? And I get, there's we'll have time for one-on-ones kind of deal, but it's like, okay, well, let's if you guys are feeling overwhelmed, let's fix you guys' problems first, and then as you're figuring out your own characters, like better understanding of their personalities and like how they are. Some of you guys are more developed than others. So it's just one of those like, okay, let's figure out what's going on with their character. And then we'll start branching off to start doing the littler interactions, on your own deal. I think, and this is on me though. I think the way I have framed it is that there's so many solutions so many needs that you're compelled to go everywhere with it, And I think, yeah, that's on me. I need to, I'll adjust that. Luckily, we'll have 2 weeks to figure that out.
Right.
No, yeah, like
Excuse me.
aside from everything that's going on, like this has been a really great campaign so far. Like I mentioned before, like the little surprises that we're coming across here and there in this realm is actually really cool. Like my favorite aspect still of this whole thing is the dinosaurs. That's probably just the little inner kid in me because of the fact that I loved like dinosaurs growing up, but the fact that there are dinosaurs in the campaign. Like,
it's surprisingly underused.
Mm-hmm. Well, I figured since like the world is new, might as well have, dinosaurs are everywhere at this point.
Right.
But again, Kent, that still is going into the aspect of what we were just talking about right now, just throwing a lot of shit at us without any like pacing. So I'm pretty sure maybe we might get to that at some point, but right now, like we just have a lot.
No, that's not what I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. I meant like dinosaurs in D&D are surprisingly underused. Monsters.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean the most I've seen them was in Tomb of Annihilation, and even then there was like only barely any of them there. That was like a random encounter for Velociraptor, I believe.
I mean, there's also the King of Feathers, but yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, I'll start working on that stuff. I'll try to change up my pacing a bit so that way I can get you guys all that one-on-one time.
Right. I mean, we're fine with. Yeah, go ahead.
But another issue I'm having is like. It's a general DM issue, and due to my my memory deal, it's a bit harder because I can't like I'll be sitting in the tub or the shower and I'll be like, okay, I have this fully functional NPC ready to go, and then I'll sit down and then my mind will erase everything that I just came up with, and I'll be like, why do I have this written down? Why do I have Chingy Chang, the goblin? And I'm just like, what is this NPC? I don't know what I had an idea for him for. Because beforehand, before the thing that started going down, I'd have like 18 NPCs. And for Chris and Mona, who have played in my older campaigns when I was doing my previous homebrew, like I had like my NPCs were like detailed and like had full information. This one I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with this escalation of this condition.
I also feel like you also are just juggling a lot because of the fact that for those who don't know, this table is also in coordination with another table that he's DMing at the same time that is in the same world. So you are literally juggling over 30 NPCs on their side and then 30 NPCs on our side. Like even someone who doesn't have like a mental condition like you do would have a hard time like remembering all the details, like which NPC belongs to what campaign and so on and so forth. Like you have a lot on your table. I mean, and we also try to take that in consideration that you are DMing 2 tables at the same time.
Right, and my input to that is, like, again, John, you don't have to have every NPC figured out, and you already know that, obviously. But what I mean is, a lot of these interactions, like, they feel good and they feel convincing still. Like, you're still doing a good job. You don't have to necessarily have them full fleshed out. Like, I know you put the most effort into, like, say, Chandra and her upcoming and her downfall, but, like, even characters as minor as the one time we get a name drop for some council members, and that's all we really know about them. Like, that's like that builds to the immersion, that builds to the interaction. It's fun, it's flavorful. Like we hardly know anything about them yet. It feels like they're very believable, and we want that. So all these characters, they don't have to necessarily have anything to them. Like, as you play along, you assign them to what you want them to do, like as we go, or what feels natural, and we'll attach to them. Like, we attach to Oda because you made her this super like dweeby gnome that's like thrusted into a position of power, and it's relatable, like a responsible position, I guess.
Yeah, especially for some of our characters that had to take like the roles of leadership because of the situation we are put in. So like, you're doing the maximum amount of results without doing the maximum amount of effort, and that's good.
Like, what I'm saying is, you don't need to like plan out exactly where does this character go in. You just need to say, I need this role filled. I'm going to give a name to this character. I'm going to give their appearance or whatnot so that we can imagine this character, and then you just set the voice for it and then see where it goes. Like, that's what you've kind of been doing anyway. Yeah, and that's fine enough.
Yeah,
especially coming from
like here's the thing, right? This is just a personal philosophy of mine that is not good for mental health, but it's good for, for everyone here in this window that is an artist. Every one of us has felt this deal. You're sitting there, you're working on an art piece, because D&D in itself is just a different method of story writing. You're looking at this art piece and you're just going, I don't like this line, I need to fix it, even though there may be nothing inherently wrong with it. You're just like, I gotta fix this part, and you obsess, and then when you got the extra part of when you forget what step you did to try to fix that, you're just like, what is this? And it's just one of those, like, I'm constantly judging myself based on what my image of what I want this to be, or what kind of story I want to tell. So it's just constant badgering on myself. And I may sound like I'm like going, oh man, I'm a shitty DM. I'm like, no, I understand that these are what's working, this is what's not, this is what I need to fix. And I love these AARs where we're, getting together and going like, hey, John, do this. I'm like, yeah, sure. This is kind of why I'm doing this. This is why I'm struggling with it, but we'll work on it.
Oh yeah,
I am super critical of myself to the point where, like, I'll sit there, like, when I named Tommy, the fucking that pixie. I was sitting there just going, I have nothing for this pixie. I don't know what to do with it. Fine, it's Carlos' clone. Let's go. They'll be BFFs forever.
Which is like the best.
That's perfect. Like, John, a lot of interactions are great because it's us hanging out with you.
No, yeah, and take it
so wholesome.
and Mona, you can add on to this if you want, especially considering from the environment that you and me are a part of as like illustrators and stuff like that. You're never going to be 100% fucking happy with your work. That's a given. the part that you need to learn is the fact that put in your full effort into it, but still be okay with it at the end of the day. Be kind to yourself because of the fact that if you're never satisfied, you're just going to keep going back and back and back, and you're never going to get anything done. And it's just going to cause more stress on yourself, more stress on the mental, more stress on the physical, as two individuals who literally threw a fucking art show together.
Yeah, I remember that.
And did we get credit? No, of course
No,
not.
we did not.
No, you did not.
We fucking did not. But we tried our damnedest because we were doing it for the fucking students who actually gave a fuck about this whole thing. And we just went with what we got. So be kind to yourself, man, because in the long run, that will help you out more than you think.
I think I need more random goofballs.
All right, more random goofballs.
That's what I need. I need more random goofball characters. Okay, fucking Maya Yahi, my
Well, now you
To be honest,
you've done it.
You're making really good characters because that other girl that's just like low key racist. My character just hates her. She's just like, I'm gonna burn you to the ground. You're now my nemesis.
Which one was this?
I forgot her name because like, is she even relevant? No.
What was the event that took?
It was part of the group of people that like showed up and it's like, what's up with this? And it was
You mean
like,
the human?
yeah, I think she was human, but
oh yeah, fucking
freaking name. I forgot her name.
I got it. I'll tell you right now in a bit. Hold on.
Players that have notebooks on deck.
Sorry, I moved.
Kazim. That's who you're talking about.
Oh yeah, it's Kazim.
Yeah. Femora hates her already. She's like, no, don't got time for this. I'm burning you to the ground.
Well, I hate to tell you this, guys, but you know how I have blackouts? I totally did not remember writing Kazim whatsoever.
Oh, you gave us Eris, the redheaded dwarf. You gave us Kazim, the tanned one. You gave us Farngren, the silver-haired, tanned, blue-eyed Dwergar. And you give us Oda, the green-eyed blonde.
Oh, she's part of the council. Okay, yeah.
Yes, Tama, or
the silver.
Tama?
Yeah,
Tama, the
silver
fin.
Okay.
Female.
The silver fin. Female, long-eared, longer ears than normal.
This is what this note card is for. Okay. I'm going to write council members on this one.
Or in this case, guild members, because remember we decided on the guild system for our government. So.
Wait, actually, I have a line of text in my notes, and I have no idea what this is. What is the Corrid?
Oh,
it just says a small group of round puffballs.
Oh yeah, those. I was gonna ask about that because they were the people that had like the ore thing, and that's why you had to go talk to them.
Oh yeah, because
that's
you were
why I was like,
that was offensive.
You were supposed to pinpoint them in the last campaign, so that way you can then take Kazim and Oda with you to get the ore to preparation for the con.
No, I wasn't taking Kazim. I was taking what's her name?
Oda.
No, not Oda. Oda is making stuff in the settlement. I was taking
the ranger. The ranger.
What is her name? Legamy.
Yeah, Legamy.
Campaign. Oh, there we go. There's my notes. I see them now.
Also,
Yeah.
John, can you please tell us how many diamonds we have? Because you're just like, we still have 600 pounds of diamonds, but you weren't like, this is a number of diamonds. And you suddenly dropped out. We need like 150 diamonds. I'm just like, what does that mean? We have 600 pounds, not 600 units of diamonds?
Kind of Google how heavy
and like
diamonds
again
are.
okay so again that leads to the whole segment of the
let me
too many quests because we have to assign someone to
spreadsheet. Hold on, I have a spreadsheet for this.
Because we're gonna have to assign someone to like processing these diamonds otherwise, and this as opposed to like oh, we just use our resources. It's now we have to break this down into like this much going process into this much process into that, and we have to figure out who's going to be doing this in that amount of time as we're preparing to do other stuff. So that's kind of what I mean. But like, we have a bunch of side quests that's kind of getting in the way.
Yeah, and then we also have the idea that it seems like we might have to make like walls out of these diamonds. So
okay, so the diamonds are just about they're like they're in various sizes and shapes because it's very much just like, oh, here are these leftover rocks that were in this hole we dug up. We don't know what to do with them. They're kind of shiny, but we don't know what to do with them. Here you go. Take our useless rocks. So they are in various shapes and sizes.
Right. So if you just want to be take out 100 pounds.
In terms of individual deal, it would not. Those 106 individuals, like, what is needed is about palm-shaped diamonds.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. No, a carrot is actually smaller. They're about the the villain bag of diamonds that they dump out for like, oh, here's my currency for the day.
Yeah, they're like fingertip sized.
Yeah, each one of those is about a carrot, and from the gold conversion I'm doing, it's about 100 gold is 1 carrot. Because I'm using 1920s $1 to 1 the 1-to-1 ratio from the 1920s, which God bless those times and making D&D math so much easier to convert equipment to. So pretty much you guys would have in terms of poundage
by the way, these diamonds were given to us on a roll of natural ones rolled by our players, so
pounds to carrot. Okay, so I don't want to dig through my deal. Okay, so 600 pounds. 1.1 E6. 1.316 E6. So there's that, and then
we're all waiting in anticipation and shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm gonna make more food. I'll be back.
All right.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do. Phenomena. You guys have about 136,000 gold pieces worth of diamond.
136 pieces.
136 gold pieces worth of diamond.
That's a surprisingly small amount.
Yeah. Damn.
Yep. But considering, all that you can do with it is you get your rise over run factor with that. I could be wrong with my math.
Is it because we haven't done anything with it, or is it just because that's just the general amount that we can maximize?
That's the general max you can go about.
Okay.
Actually, no, hold on. Actually, no, I forgot. I only converted it one way. I need to do another sig fig calculation because I didn't do a proper deal. So take that number and then times that by 100. So it's more in the millions. Sorry.
Wait, if you times it by 100, that's 13.6k.
Yeah, 13 point. That's 13 mil because it's in the 100k. So it's 13 million.
Oh, you said 136k?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard 136.
Yeah, no. That's K. That's 1,000. So you have like 13 million. I could be off on my conversion factor as I hastily did it, and it's been a long while since I've had to do mathematics like that.
Times it by what again?
Okay, it's it times it by 100 because each carat is worth about 100 gold pieces, and I convert it.
So 13.6 million.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Million.
Now just imagine what you gave up with those 100 pounds of leaves.
Okay, first off, 13.6 million worth of GP of diamonds, plus the fact that we still have over 1,300 pounds of adamantium.
But here's the thing, but we forget. Diamonds to us sorry, my microwave went off. Diamonds to us in real life mean something.
Yeah,
but in game,
you only need you need a 300 GP diamond to cast like revive or whatever. Is it resurrection or revive or one of the things?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's revivify. But yeah,
jeez.
You need a 300. Okay, 300, right? 13.6 million.
I have a question. Can we make a wall made of diamonds?
Well, that's what Ken's conversation with
Onsev.
Onkev was about. Converting some of our diamonds into stuff and possibly converting those diamonds into a wall for us. Apparently,
maybe we should use those for Tommy and DeVito, because those are like the two people that are kind of like the most important.
So these diamonds, obviously, like they're just magic gems for us right now, right? So we can do just about fucking anything. We have so much worth that we can fiddle around with. We don't have to just be like, oh, use all of them to make a wall. And we should keep some reserved for spells anyway. But like, we're gonna have to do a lot of work to like actually do anything with these, because we don't actually have an economy yet, and like we got these because they're useless to an entire society
right now. Yeah.
Right. And that's also because like with what John was saying before, like we have to rediscover magic, like formal magic.
Let's make our currency shiny rocks.
Please no. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to make John Big Brain the fucking 1920s gold to a single diamond poker chip as our currency, please.
Oh, if you think I'm fucking not converting that to $100 piece, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, I gotta grab my food from the thingy.
But
here's the thing.
Okay.
I was gonna say we also have those red mushrooms and healing mods, and we also have our goats and sheep. Like we can make superior potions of healing.
We're in a good spot. We're in a really good spot.
You guys are a lot better off than what you guys kind of figured out yet, or like what you guys remember from what you have, aka Kent's and possibly long item list.
I'm keeping track. We have 6 frying pans, John.
Yes. Yes, I'm aware.
7 if you count mine.
But you guys are actually in a decent spot. Like you guys.
Yeah,
honestly,
I mean,
everything. Like I said earlier, everything that you guys are at right now, you guys honestly are at the point where you can go. well, we built your civilization, got you started. I'm going to go get a pack of cigarettes. Bye. and you could do that. Like, it's to the point where it will sustain itself for at least a long while. So you don't really have to worry about, the micro of the deal. Another deal is some of these quests may be interconnected to each other. So they could be quests, they could be plot lines. So if you guys feel overwhelmed, I do feel bad about that because it's not the intent. But we'll get this hammered out. And
I mean, I should try to, like, I guess, elaborate on how I feel about that. And it's not quite just simply like, oh, we're overwhelmed. It's like we're being timed, so we have to make sure we do so much in such
in a short amount of time. Yeah,
and so doing that and keeping with the pacing of adding a new quest every time we finish one, or like sometimes getting 2 quests after we finish one, or like right now with the whole meat thief thing, we're like, all right, let's knock this out, but we don't know when it's going to get knocked out. We have to wait because the way we set up our trap. And so now that turns into, we can't do that at all because we're now having to worry about this or that, or preparing for things, because the whole, like, for instance, the whole con thing that opened up the conversation of, we need to get this medal now because we were already planning to get the medal, but now we need to do it now because we need to get started. We don't have time to wait. We can't go all together to deal with the meat thieves and wait 2 weeks to try to find out when they're going to do it. And then we got stopped with the whole, we have to form the government. We have to appease the people. And part of the appeasing the people comes back to dealing with the con and making sure that the people are safe and the con doesn't
overstep its boundaries,
or exploit us. And while that's happening, we happen to start another quest of protect the entire settlement from winter coming in and just not stopping until we're dead. Like that, or it's turned into Icewind Dale.
Hey, people live in Icewind Dale.
Oh yeah, but
But I get you. Yeah, I get you. Like,
we would be more fine to do things in groups if, like,
there are things I want to explain, but I can't right now.
Yeah.
Like, much like when we first started this campaign, I was like, just play it and just see what's going to happen. For some of this, like, now that I'm kind of like starting to have a little bit more clarity right now. Some of it is patience. Some things may solve other things. So we'll work on it. But anyway, I think. I think with that, I think we've gone on a couple hours now. Had a great couple of conversations. And as much as Mona is full on invested in her food right now, I think she wants to fuck it up some more. So, you can find Kent at his school somewhere. If you can find it out, you get a gold star. Oh, by the way, I enjoy your flat Earth poster.
What? Oh.
Oh. God damn it.
Credit to...
It took me a second.
Credit to Hot Diggity Demon for that joke, because if you guys haven't watched this recent video, he had a discussion about flat Earth, and he's like, here's this photograph of the Earth. It is clearly round. Turns the paper sideways. It's flat. I'm just like, oh god, it's so dumb. Anyway, Kent, we get to with Kent. Chris, you can find him at Morbidmartyr on Instagram and probably one day soon Twitch. And we have Mona, where you can also find her on Instagram. All their descriptions and links will be posted down below. And, well, hope you guys all have a wonderful and enjoyed this D&D podcast. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys in actually 2 weeks because we're doing Christmas vacation. Anyway, so long, and thanks for all the fish. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.